Hello everyone and welcome to my CS24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. I think this 90-day fiancé couple is the most successful for several shocking reasons. It's not who you think. There are plenty of 90-day fiancé couples who could be considered successful, but one couple stands out among the rest because they've made their own measure entirely. 90-Day Fiancé debuted in 2014 on TLC, and the OG show recently finished airing its 11th season, and a historic 90 weddings. There are many spin-offs within the network, with the other core shows including Happily Ever After, Before the 90 Days, and The Other Way. Furthermore, there are other spin-offs like Love in Paradise, The Single Life, The Last Resort, and Hunt for Love. David Toborowski and Annie Sowen have been around the franchise since Season 5, which was filmed in 2017. The pair have had their perils, but have proven to me that they are not only one of the most legitimate couples to ever make their way through the show, but also an example of what it takes to fulfill shared dreams. David and Annie, who have a 24-year age gap, met at a bar in Annie's native Thailand after David took a trip there to find himself again after weight loss and a health scare. Dave left his kids and a failed marriage behind in America to pursue a new life, and his friend Chris helped him financially. When David brought Annie to America, Chris was the co-signer on her visa. Upon arrival, David's dire financial straits were ever present, as they had to live in a commercial space owned by Chris for a period of time. Things in David's personal life were also ugly, as his children, specifically his daughter Ashley, outwardly resented David and were not happy with him bringing home a young Thai bride. However, David and Annie's love stayed true, and the pair went on to be cast members in Happily Ever After. They stayed around the franchise in various spin-offs before landing their own in David and Annie, after the 90 days, in which their endeavor to bring Annie's sister and cousin to America was detailed. In Season 2, Ashley even went to Thailand with them and worked on her relationship with David. Off-camera, David and Annie capitalized on their 90-day fiancé fame. Their big personalities, amazing senses of humor, and unwavering support of one another were obvious to me, and I know it helped them achieve stardom and, as a result, influencer/content creator income. Then, in 2024, David and Annie started their IVF journey, as Annie wanted to have a baby and was having trouble conceiving naturally with David. Annie and David got pregnant, and their baby girl, Minthyra, was born in March 2025. Becoming parents, David and Annie decided to move to Thailand, where they own a condo. Annie gave birth to Minthyra there, and the pair are seemingly making plans to settle there long-term. They previously had a nice, big house in Arizona, and David was making money moves as a realtor. David and Annie are proving to me that they know what their idea of happiness is, and for them, it's Thailand, being close to Annie's family, and living comfortably. Besides being the first couple to settle back in the foreign partner's home country happily, David and Annie have seen the most success from their 90-day fiancé accolade. Aside from lucratively doing cameos, David and Annie co-own Cooking with DNA, where they offer cooking classes and also do catering. It's unclear if the catering part is still active now that they're in Thailand. Since settling into Thailand with their daughter, Annie has expressed her desire to own and operate a farm, a dream which David seems to be going along with. With being happily together, financially stable, and with a solid support system, I believe David and Annie will achieve everything they set out to do. The other point about David and Annie that makes me feel like they are the most successful 90-day fiancé couple ever is that they don't feud with the other couples like so many 90DF alums do. In fact, David and Annie are among the most popular cast in the franchise and have met up and spent time with cast members in different places in the world. Having gotten married in November 2017, David and Annie are showing other 90-day fiancé couples what's possible in a cross-cultural relationship, even with their huge age gap. They are a shining example of how much is possible with love, support, and forward thinking. When people talk about 90-Day Fiancé, the first things that usually come to mind are the drama, the cultural clashes, and of course, the couples who seem doomed from the very beginning. For every pair that makes it work, there are at least 5 who crash and burn in spectacular fashion, leaving fans shaking their heads at the mess. But tucked between all the chaos, there are those rare, golden couples who managed to rise above it all. And honestly, I think I've found the most successful couple in the entire franchise, and the reasons why might shock you. Because when it comes to 90 Day Fiancé, success isn't always about lasting love. Sometimes it's about reinvention, financial wins, social media domination, or even just flipping the narrative to turn reality TV chaos into a happily ever after. This particular couple, let's call them the surprising success story, managed to hit every mark in ways that no one ever saw coming. Reason number 1, they weren't supposed to make it. Let's be honest, when we first met them, almost nobody thought they would last. From awkward family introductions to cultural differences that felt impossible to bridge, the couple seemed destined for a breakup montage set to sad music. Even their own families looked doubtful, throwing shade in confessionals that left viewers wondering if these two were playing themselves on national TV. But here's where the shock comes in. Instead of crumbling under the pressure, they actually grew stronger. Every fight turned into an opportunity to learn about each other. Every red flag became a stepping stone toward compromise. Where other couples allowed jealousy, pride, and Instagram DMs to destroy them, this duo leaned in and figured out how to work through it. And that's what makes them successful. Not that it was easy, but that they refused to let the noise ruin them. Reason number 2, they flipped the fame script. Most 90 Day Fiancé couples try to ride the wave of fame in the same predictable way. Influencer deals, sponsored posts, maybe even a Cameo app account. But this couple? They didn't stop at just Instagram selfies and discount codes for teeth whitening kits. They turned their notoriety into a full-blown business empire. One partner launched a podcast that skyrocketed on the charts, drawing in fans who wanted the behind-the-scenes tea but stayed for the humor and surprisingly solid life advice. The other found a way to blend their unique cultural background into a thriving lifestyle brand, something fresh, authentic, and actually useful. What's wild is that the couple didn't even set out to be. Fans trusted them, and instead of selling out, they leaned into what they genuinely cared about. Now they're pulling in steady money, independent from TLC cameras, proving that reality TV fame doesn't always fade away into obscurity. Reason number 3, they survived the villain edit. If you've watched the show long enough, you know TLC loves a villain. Sometimes a character gets the short end of the editing stick, painted as manipulative, lazy, or even downright cruel. This couple had one of those moments. Early on, they were portrayed as selfish and unserious. Social media went wild with criticism. Memes, TikToks, and whole Reddit threads tore them apart. But instead of fighting the edit, they embraced it. They laughed at themselves, owned up to their mistakes, and, here's the kicker, used it as an opportunity to grow. That transparency shocked fans who were used to defensive reality stars. Slowly, public opinion shifted. What once looked like a doomed couple became one of the most relatable pairs on the show. By surviving the villain edit, they proved that success on 90 Day Fiancé isn't about perfection, it's about authenticity. And authenticity wins every time. Reason number 4, they built a family on their own terms. Fans love to speculate about who will have babies, who will split before the green card interview, and who will drag their family drama into the next spinoff. This couple, though, stayed shockingly private when it came to their family plans. No clickbait pregnancy announcements, no drama-filled custody battles, just quiet, steady progress. When they eventually did expand their family, it wasn't for ratings. It was on their terms, in their timing, and it showed. Fans who had once doubted them began to see the strength of their bond in the way they parented together. Their children, or fur babies, depending on the version of their story you follow, became proof that love could grow in healthy soil, even if it had once looked rocky. That's rare for 90 Day Fiancé. And it's part of why I think they deserve the most successful title. Reason number 5. They redefined success for the franchise. Here's the ultimate shocker. Their success isn't just about money or longevity. It's about redefining what it means to win after being on a reality show like 90 Day Fiancé. Some couples win because they're entertaining. Some win because they break up in the most dramatic way possible, guaranteeing them another spin-off. But this couple? They won by living a full, balanced life outside the chaos. They proved that you don't have to be the loudest, the messiest, or the most scandalous to stay relevant. You can succeed by being smart, resilient, and yes, even kind. They gave fans something new, hope. Hope that not every love story from the show has to end in flames. Hope that cultural differences can be celebrated, not weaponized. Hope that a messy beginning doesn't dictate the ending. The big picture. When I look back at all the seasons, it's easy to get lost in the drama. The cheating scandals, the shocking arrests, the overbearing in-laws, and the tearful green card interviews. But this couple stands out because they remind us that love stories don't always have to be perfect to be successful. In fact, their imperfections are what made them the most successful couple to come out of 90 Day Fiancé. They weren't supposed to last, but they did. They weren't supposed to thrive, but they built an empire. They weren't supposed to win over fans, but they became one of the most loved duos in franchise history. In a world where success is often measured in Instagram followers or spin-off deals, this couple proved that true success looks a little different. It looks like building a life you're proud of, no matter what the odds say. So yes, I think this 90 Day Fiancé couple is the most successful for reasons that go way beyond what the cameras ever showed us.